Hi everyone, I'm Anna and I'm a children's librarian at the East Hampton Library, and I have been doing art projects for you from home. So today I wanted to do a little bit of paper towel art. I'll give you a little shot of what we're doing here. Let's see if I can get the whole thing in there. There you go. So basically what I did with this is I took a paper towel and I pencil sketched an outline of a tree. And then within those lines, I did dot to dot on the paper towel pattern. That one is a tree. And then I also have, I know at home, a lot of you guys probably have half sheets of paper towels. So on this one, I did a sun. Make sure you can see it there. It also has a little bit of a different pattern. So paper towel art, what you will need today is a roll of paper towels. If you have different ones with different patterns, that's good. You'll need a pencil to do an outline sketch on the paper towel. For this one that is the sun, since it's on half a paper towel, I used one of these, but you could also use a saucer, a paper plate, anything like that, especially if you're using it on a larger paper towel. For the tree, I just sketched it. And then to fill it in with, you're going to want markers. And I have a collection of browns for the tree trunk and greens for the tree top, and then some oranges and yellows for the sun. So I want to show you a little bit here. I use Sharpies a lot. So these are just fine point Sharpies that are pretty thick. And you'll notice when we get into the art, that some of my dots bled together. And if you're using children's Crayola markers, that's probably going to happen. So we'll want to skip every other dot. But if you have any nicer stuff at home, this is an ultra fine tip Sharpie, and I use those a lot more, and they worked great on the tiny dots on my paper towels. Okay, so those are the supplies you will need. So I'm going to start with a half sheet I have here, and I generally use a clipboard. I've got my paper towel on there. You can see it kind of helps smooth it out a little bit. And I do also have a piece of paper behind it, and I put the paper behind it to collect the ink because markers do bleed through. And you will see on my tree, I actually bled through, pretty good view there, bled through 2 paper towels and onto the paper. So I have a nice little tree on a piece of paper I can play with later. So there's my paper towel. I'm going to go ahead and move my camera down so you can watch me do my outline. A little bit there. See how this works. Turn it this way a little bit. So for the tree, I just kind of do an angled trunk like that. It's not a real deep outline. And then I'm just going to do a little bit of a line here. So you can see the top. See if you can see. I'm not sure how well that shows up a little bit. So you can see my lines on my tree trunk and the top a little bit there. Now I am not going to outline those with marker, but what I will do to give you an idea, I'm going to start with my brown marker here. This is a thicker marker, which probably most little kids will use, but it's got a nice tip. So when I start this on my pattern, I'm going to go ahead and start at the bottom here, and I'm literally just coloring in the dots. But I'm going to go kind of along the outline of the tree so you can see a little bit about how it starts taking shape, and then I'll fill in the patterns a little bit later. You can see there where I've gotten started. So that's not following the patterns yet, but it's showing you where the outline of the tree is. So I will go ahead and fill in a couple of those. This is a different piece of paper than the one I used a while ago. So now since I am doing this and I've got a little bit of a bigger marker, you can see my dots are starting to bleed together a little bit there, and it doesn't look real neat. So I'm going to start going to every other dot. And I'm going to go ahead and move up here and go to the inside of my tree, just to give you an idea of what it looks like when I do every other. So it looks a little bit neater. If you're working with a little guy, they might be more interested in doing it with every other dot because it is going to take a while if they're doing every single dot. But again, you just work on the part of the pattern that's within your outline of the tree. Where does my tree go here? So I'm going to kind of start across the top here too, where my tree outline seems to be stopping. So you can see the top of my trunk. So everything from this line and down through here is what I'm going to be filling in. Now I do like to switch it up a little bit. So if you will look at my other tree here, notice on this one, on my tree trunk, there's a few different colors. Again, my dots bled together because I was mostly going every single one, but I've got a little bit of a dark red, a brown, and some gold in there. So I do have the dark red over here. So I'm going to fill in some of them with that as I start mixing my colors. It's not really like connecting the dots, but it's a little bit more like pointillism. We're not blending colors really, but you are just kind of following the dot outline. And what you're doing is letting the pattern on the paper towel kind of dictate the pattern on your tree. Mine is getting a little bit messy here. So now I've got my gold marker. We're going to do a little bit with it, just to give you an idea of what it's like when you start putting the different colors together. You are more than welcome to do it all brown. This is my third one now, so I'm moving a little bit fast. So your kid may want to go a little bit slower than what I'm doing. But you can see as I make these marks that it's bleeding together. I'm going to bring it up here again for you so you can see the color combinations, and as the tree is starting to fill in. I'm going to switch back to my brown again and do a couple more. And I like to just go back and forth with the different colors. I tend to get bored and not want to work with one color for very long. So again, if you're working with a child and you're using thicker markers, kind of like what I am right now, for the most part now I'm going every other dot, so I've got less bleeding going on, but paper towels definitely absorb and bleed a little bit. I'm going to switch back to my red again. And this time I'm going to be a little more careful down here with skipping and going every other dot so it looks a little bit neater. So you can do any design that you like. If you guys have been doing art with me for very long at the library or following these videos, or if you're back in Oklahoma and have been doing art with me there, you know that I like to do trees and suns. But you are welcome to do a dinosaur if you want, or do the beach, or even do a simple star shape like we started on a couple of weeks ago for the 4th of July. We did stars. But you're welcome to decide on any shape you want. But there, my trunk is filled in now, and you can see a little bit of the paper towel design. I want to show you kind of to compare the two so you can see what it looks like with different paper towels. So that's the pattern on my first paper towel, and this one's a little bit different. I was moving faster, so it's a little bit messier, and the gold is a little bit hard to see there. But you can see how with different paper towels you will get different designs. So for the tree top, we're going to start and just do some dots along the tree line here. And sometimes it's okay to just create your own dots too if your child doesn't want to follow the pattern exactly, or especially if you're working within the outline. What I just did along the tree was kind of create my own line of dots so that you could see the outline. But that is getting my tree started to the edge of the paper towel. So I'm not going to finish this one up completely because I don't want you guys to have to sit here and watch me do the whole thing. But I will show you one more time what we've got here with the paper towel art. That's the first one with the tree and the trunk and design. And here's one with a different, I don't know how hard that one is to see, but that is my sun. And again, I created a little bit of the design with it. You can also see on here a difference in where I worked with the very, very fine points and the regular point. So if you have a teenager working on this project that likes a lot of detail, the fine point will work very well with that. All right, so there is my paper towel art project today with Sharpies and paper towels. Have fun with it, create your own designs, and as always, please post them in the comments. Thank you.